mode with Akuma, because I feel like playing Street Fighter 4 for a little while, and it kind of, while I was playing with him, it really made me think about topics that sometimes people bring up in regards to Street Fighter 5 versus Street Fighter 4, the whole debate, and yada yada. And my argument is that I don't feel that Street Fighter 5 is competitive. Now, that's kind of a vague, loose term that I think people kind of throw around. People are like, yeah, it's competitive. This is competitive. It's competitive. And yeah, Ultimate Marvel was competitive. Blaze Blue was competitive. We got competitive chess. We got competitive basketball. We got competitive gaming. We got all this stuff. And it kind of made me think for a few minutes about what does that really mean? You know, what does that mean? You know, but does it mean that, you know, the game's really good for everybody to pick up and whoever's more intelligent wins the round? Is it, you know, details and intricacies of something that makes it different than something else that allows it to be competitive? Is it something that anybody can play? What does that mean? So I'm going to give you what my opinion is of what something means when it's competitive. So if we take a look and think about things just in general, let's think of a couple things. So we got like a couple sports, we'll say football, basketball, and hockey, right? We'll say those three things, and we'll say Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4, and chess, right? Because chess is a very deep game, very deep understanding game. So that's something to look at too. Okay, so if we think about Street Fighter 5, let's look at Street Fighter 5 first. A lot of people have argued that all the characters seem very similar. They seem very basic and bland. The combos are very simple. It's very easy to pick up. I would say that it's easier to pick up than Street Fighter 4. Now, some people are also saying that they don't feel that that's a bad thing. They feel that's good, and it is good. It is good. That's a good thing to allow more players to come in. We can't deny that fact. Some of us may not want to hear it, but that is the truth. So we have to accept that. Now, when I look at a character like Akuma in Street Fighter 4, a lot of people have this thing that Akuma was really good. We'll just use Akuma was one of the best characters, right? He's always been one of the greatest characters in Street Fighter 4 throughout the entire series. He's always been solid. He's always been good. And a lot of people will say, the problem with Street Fighter 4 is that there was a lot of safe offense, right? So Akuma could go in, that would be a safe jump, and like do some combo or do something and get a knockdown, and then do vortex, and then do things like that, whatever the case may be. So the thing that makes Akuma, I'm going to start talking about him for a minute. What makes him very interesting, and I think makes me think a little bit about the term competitive, is that Akuma is very technical. What I mean by that is he has a lot of things that you have to know and a lot of execution things that are very important to and intricate to his gameplay. So for example, if he has the teleport ultra, you dash, you cancel the ultra, the teleport animation, and you can go do his ultra 2. That was a very technical thing. He also has a lot of low health. So you have to know how to use his resources, and you have to know how to approach it. You just can't beam with him all day, because then you get sure you can die and whatever, and you can't just retreat and throw fireballs all day like a scrub and just do that, because people are going to go at you and anti-fireball ultra or whatever and get in and do damage, and you're going to do around Shoryuken, and you're going to make mistakes, right? Now, the art of Akuma is knowing how to put that all together, and knowing how to do it, and how to craft, how to blend it, and make sure that it works for your gameplay. And only few people can do that, right? Because throughout the course of Street Fighter 4, only a handful of people could really do that and make Akuma work, make him shine. Because a lot of people play Akuma and go, oh, I can play Akuma, and then they would make mistakes, and then they would get damaged, and then they would die, and they'd be like, why am I playing this character? And then blah, 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 blah. So it was a skill, it was a craft to do that, right? Now, if we take a look at other things, let's even remove ourselves from the fighting game aspect of something that's competitive, and let's talk about like a sport, right? So if we have like football, we have different positions and things on football, like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, linebackers, all these other positions that were unique. They were different. They're different positions. Or basketball, shooting guard, point guard, center, small forward, whatever, like your coach. They're all different positions that are viable, that are important to a team, to a structure, to a skill, to a goal, right? And same with chess. Chess has different pieces. There's pawns, rooks, bishops, king, queen, so on and so forth. Different pieces that you put together to make something work. You make it work, and you have to learn it, and you have to understand it, right? Because you can't just move your pawns 2 pieces forward and be like, oh, I'm just going to move all my pawns because they're the beginning pieces. No, you make a lot of mistakes. You make a lot of errors, and you learn, and you feel that pain. And then you play times chess, and you're like, this is so hard, it's so difficult. It's different. It's a different feeling. Same thing with football. You play different kinds of teams, and you have to understand what your team's strength is and try to combat that and learn about it. But you have to practice. You have to practice. You have to run. You have to learn you have to practice throwing to your team if you're the quarterback. You have to learn how your wide receiver reacts to certain plays. You have to know this information. But it's competitive. Football is a very competitive sport. Chess is extremely competitive because there's an understanding to that. Because there's something that you're digging. There's something that you're learning about. There's times when you just screw up and you mess up and you have to put time into something. Now with Street Fighter 4 with Akuma, it's very similar. Because, or just most of the characters will say in this game, we'll say most of them, maybe not all of them, is that there's something unique about them. There's something that's difficult, or there's a struggle. There's a feeling of like, wow, this character really can't do this. I have to learn about this. So the struggle would be like Hugo. Hugo's slow. He's really slow. He loses to zoning. He has weaknesses. He has very clear, distinctive weaknesses that really make it difficult for him to succeed. So he's slow. Look at this walk speed. Ugh, like look at that. That's slow. He has weaknesses. He has things that you need to learn to overcome. Things that you have to deal with and be like, this is hard because I can't dash. I can't do this. And you feel a pain. You feel something wrong. You feel like, oh, all right, well, I have high health, but I really got to get around Sagat's projectiles. There's something that you're learning, and there's something technical that you need to learn, but if you can do it, you can be very good, and you can stand out, and you can be special and unique as a player. So let's say I learned like all this Hugo stuff, and I'm like, hey, I can do the clap loops, whatever. I don't play Hugo really. I haven't played it in a while. And you can, let's say you learn these loops. Let's say you learn all this stuff. There's something that makes you unique as a player now. There's something that stands out and says, whoa, that's cool. He can do that. Where you just like, it's a craft, it's an art. And that's one of the most exciting things about playing video games is that they're artistic, they're expressive, they're cool. Like Kingdom Hearts, people like that for its artistic approach. They enjoy that. It's not competitive. Kingdom Hearts is competitive. But this game is, right? Because there's a different craft, there's a different something in this game. There's something you have to learn. And anything in life, and people, your bosses will tell you, your employers will tell you, your parents will tell you, everyone will tell you, anything that's worth having, you have to put time into it. Whether that's, your schoolwork, or you want to be on the basketball team at your high school, whatever it is, if you have to put work into it, it's worth doing. It's worth it, because in the end, you're like, oh, this feels so good, I worked hard. You want a promotion at your job, you work hard for it, you work. And that's what makes something kind of competitive, is work. Work. Think about like the job market in the world that we have today. It's very competitive. Why is it competitive? Because you have to work to get to the top, to beat the other people that are trying to get the same job that you're trying to get. You got to work hard. You got to do something to be different. You have to stand out and be different. Dudley, let's look at Dudley. Like, Dudley's in his own right a technical, different kind of character. Dudley, you have to learn the overheads, you have to learn all this stuff. When people say that they don't want to learn something, it means that they don't want it to be competitive. And like I said with the examples before of chess football, basketball, all these other things. These sports players, these chess players, these checkers players, these, I don't know, ice hockey players, or whatever sport or whatever craft that Diablo, or I don't know, any other thing, Magic the Gathering, the card game, Pokemon, I don't know this stuff. Even like Pokemon, that's competitive, because you have to know the attacks. You have to know what cards work. You have to understand and feel a difference in something. In Street Fighter V, there's little matchup knowledge, there's little intricacies, there's little differences, but there's nothing really truly unique about going to play Ryu versus playing Nash, and you're playing as Chun-Li or something like that. Like, there's nothing really different about that. There's nothing really different about being Zangief than playing any character in the game. Your matchups are still all different. You're still in a struggle. You're like, well, this is just like the other one I just played, or this is just like the other matchup I played, where I played Fang, now I'm playing Ryu, now I'm playing Nash, now I'm playing Chun-Li, now I'm playing Ken, now I'm playing, let me think of the other characters I can't even think right now. Now I'm playing Mika, now I'm playing friggin' Rashid. Like, all of those matchups feel the same. Like, you're just going in and having a hard time, and you're just going in. Like, that's it. But in Street Fighter IV, you play as Zangief, you play against Fei Long, suddenly things are a little different, because now you have like a little bit of an advantage. Or you play Balrog. Now it's not so tough. You have strengths, you have weaknesses, there's different things. And in Street Fighter V, all of your matchups kind of feel like the same. Like, your goals are kind of all the same. Urian's goals are kind of all the same. Ibuki's goals are all the same. She wants to go in every matchup. She wants to hit the buttons, hit standing medium punch. Everything's the same. There's nothing different or unique or distinctive about it. Oh, I can't even do that combo again. Oh, there it is. Yay! So, like, when you play Street Fighter 4, now, I don't want to say Street Fighter 4 has to be the direct example, because it doesn't have to be the direct example. It could be Third Strike, it could be Melee, it could be CVS2, it could be anything. When you play Super Smash Bros. Melee, the Falco matchup as Marth is very different from the Peach matchup. Or the Jigglypuff matchup is extremely different than the Captain Falcon matchup as Marth. Or the Fox vs. Jigglypuff matchup is very different than the Fox Falco matchup. There's different things to learn. There's different things to grasp and understand. And it's not so much about, oh, well, the one frame links and this and that. When people say that, it means you don't want to learn. You don't want to learn. You don't want to understand something. You want the easy way out. You want all the answers given to you, and you just want to use your brain and do that. But when you remove technical things from it, when you remove technicalities, when you remove practice, when you remove those kind of things, it makes it more casual. And the reason for that is because there's nothing to learn. There's nothing to do, because everyone can pick it up. It's like checkers. It's like tic-tac-toe. It's like Monopoly. It's like Sorry. It's like Trouble. All those games and all those things, you just can't pick up basketball and be like, I can play basketball. No. You can't just pick up hockey and just jump on the rink and start ice skating. You can't do that. You have to learn. You gotta learn something. You gotta learn how to shoot the basketball. You gotta learn as a quarterback how to throw the pass. You gotta learn as a kicker, laces out, Ace Ventura quote, how to kick. You don't just pick it up and do it. And that's what people want in Street Fighter V. They want to just pick it up and be like, I can do this. But you don't pick up chess and instantly know all the pieces. You don't pick them up and understand why they move here, or why you do that, or why you do this. When you pick up Street Fighter V, if you have any video game knowledge, you can play that game. It's probably the easiest execution fighting game ever created. Think about that. Let's think about that. Seriously. Probably ever created. There's Super Nintendo games with more technical friggin' stuff going on in it than Street Fighter V. Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo is more technical than Street Fighter V. It's true. It's completely true. So, like, let's look at something else here, right? Now, so we went from Akuma, we went to Dudley, now let's go to Seth. Or, we went to Hugo, too. Let's go to, I don't know, Jury, right? Jury, we'll go to Jury. This is another character example of, this is the thing that Street Fighter V lacks. Now, I heard somebody say in a thread once that they believe that Street Fighter V is actually more different and character varied, unique character expressive than Street Fighter 4. Now, because their argument was that Tokido does more Shoryukens than Daigo, or Daigo did more at random and didn't care, so that made his Ryu very unique and distinctive. The problem is with that, and the problem is with Street Fighter V, is that there's no real way to play a character. Now think about that for a second, what that means, right? There's no real way that the game was designed for you to play a specific character. So what I mean by that is you can play a character any way you want to. So there's no real correct way to play a character. So that turn makes it random based and removes the aspect of having characters. Because if you can play any character any way, what's the point of having different characters? We're all just playing the same character then, right? Because I can play my character your way, and you can play your character your way, and we can just do whatever we want, right? Because if every character is very different, or every character can be played any way, there's no point in picking other characters. What's the point of that? Why pick another character? But in Street Fighter 4, your design, a character's design, is to play them a specific way. So for example, Juri, her game plan is to be a mid-range poking based character. And when she has meter, or when she has you in the corner, she's designed to pressure you. And do combos like that. Because outside of the corner, those combos are very specific. You can occasionally get them depending on the character, but those combos don't work. So you have to play more of a mid-range game, or change your combo up. But in the corner, think about this too. This Juri is a very interesting character. So we know that in Feng Shui, for example, in the corner she gets resets after her EX pinwheel. Right? So the game wants you to be offensive with Juri in the corner and use your meter in the corner. Because outside, if you're not in Feng Shui, if you're not in Feng Shui and you do those things, you don't get resets, you don't get mix-up, you don't get the ability to reset in the corner after EX Fireball. You don't get that ability, but when you're in the corner and you have Feng Shui, you can. So you do this. And you can reset and go under and do that stuff. But if you're not in Feng Shui, you can't. So Feng Shui, so Juri is meant to be a mid-range character, and then once she gets her Ultra, the Ultra 1, you go pressure and you go in the corner and you use your 1 bars and you do resets and you do stuff like that. That's how Juri was meant to be played. You don't go in and pressure and go super duper crazy with Juri outside of the corner when you're not in Feng Shui. There's just a specific way to play a character. So if I play Balrog, there's a specific way to play Balrog. Like, Balrog's a mid-range bully-based character. If he has really good pokes, really good buttons for mid-range, and if you make a mistake similar to Phalon, he punishes that. There's specific ways to play characters. In Street Fighter V, you can play Nash offensively, or you can play him defensively, or you can play Ryu defensively, or you can play him offensively, or you can play Juri mid-range and defensively, or you can play her offensively. You can play Juri whatever way you friggin' want to play. And while that boosts creativity and the ability to express yourself, but you're not expressing the character. You're expressing you, but that's not how the game was designed. We're not playing the way that the game is designed. They're just throwing us stuff and they're like, go ahead, do whatever you want. But when you can do whatever you want, you remove depth. And the reason why you remove depth is, let's say that the Minnesota Titans played the New York Giants and they were like, well, everybody, you can do whatever you want. We're just going to have Eli Manning run the ball today, and we're going to have, I don't know, Minnesota Titans, I don't know anything about football other than the basic gameplay of fucking football. But, like, that's like saying your tail end is going to be the quarterback now. Well, go ahead, be the quarterback today. That doesn't make a good, solid, competitive core, because you're just doing whatever you feel like. It's like Trouble. Do whatever you want. You can hop over here. You can jump on the thing. You can do. It's like Mario. Oh, you can jump on the Goomba. You can grab the shell, throw it whatever side you want, and go in the cave or not. Like, it's casual. And when you can do whatever the hell you want and there's no structure to it, it's not competitive. So if you play chess and you're just like, well, I'm gonna hop 8 spaces with my pawn, what are you doing? That's not how the game is played. These are not the rules. You're not playing by rules. You're just doing whatever you feel like doing. And you're like, well, who cares? And it kind of shows in the Street Fighter gameplay as well, because for the first time ever, jumps are now good. That's not the Street Fighter formula that we've known for years. It's never been a good idea to jump in a Street Fighter game. But now it's a good thing. And the hitbox system and the counter hit system is something that never was in Street Fighter as well. Where high punch buttons beat medium buttons and medium button beat low buttons on counter hit. That's not Street Fighter. That's not Street Fighter formula. It's never been that formula. Ever. No, I would say, I agree, I get it, the FADC system, whatever. But the thing is that system, the FAD system, FADC system, which everyone kind of hates, you had to lose a lot to do it. You had to give up 2 bars that were wonderful for offense and able to do it. You had to give up something to do that. In V reversal in Street Fighter 5, you can be thrown out of it, it doesn't kill, it does barely any damage, you give up something. In Street Fighter 4, you're like, alright, you can do this. If you land it, you can go to Ultra. But now it's also unsafe too. They made it unsafe in Ultra Street Fighter 5, well, 4, whatever it is. But my point being is that, you know, removing oh my god, safe jumps, that was stupid. Yeah, it was stupid because you didn't learn it. You didn't sit there and learn it, and you didn't want to learn it. So you're gonna cry about it and be like, oh, this isn't fun, I'm not having fun, because you don't want to learn. That's the ultimate problem. Think about our school system. Think about all this stuff. People bitching and complaining, oh, I get too much homework and blah, 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 school system. You gotta change everything because nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to put time in, and it's no different than video games. Nobody wants to take the time and do something and understand a concept, understand technical things. It's not hard. It's really not hard. It's about learning your character and understanding your character. And that's what makes you, as a player, unique. That's what makes you cool and you good with Akuma, or you special with Balrog, or whoever you use, or Marth in Smash, or Fox, is like understanding your character and knowing what you can do with him more than someone else who's not putting the time in. Whereas you play Ryu and your buddy down the street plays Ryu, he doesn't play as much, but he can pick up the game and he's just as good as you. Even though you put a little more time in, because he knows the buttons, he knows combos too, right? Because now he can execute now. He's gonna beat you. That's dumb. Why should I go into friggin' Street Fighter 5, pick Mika or something, and go almost toe-to-toe with Daigo? I probably won't. I'd probably lose. Duh, of course. But I'd look like I'd have a chance. Why should I have a chance against somebody who puts a lot of time into a game and knows exactly what they're doing, knows things, and studies concepts? Why? If I played against a top level player in this, in Third Strike, in Capcom vs SNK 2, or Ultimate Marvel, or any other game, I'll get demolished. Because they know the tech, they understand the competitive aspects of it, and they know their characters, and they know the game, because they put time into something. Whereas if I play Street Fighter 5, it's gonna look like I'm the best player in the world too. And we've seen scrubby Mikas and bad players and Marn doing random shit at tournaments and looking like he's a pro. We've seen inconsistent results in Street Fighter 5 more over than Street Fighter 4. If you watch Evolution 2008 and 2009, Grand Finals in Street Fighter 4, you will see that even early on in the game, because a lot of people say this argument too, that, oh, it took for years for the footsies to evolve. The footsies are excellent. They're excellent. And that's what 5 also lacks, is a footsie game. This is not footsies. That's not footsies. This is not footsies. This is not high-level gameplay. This is not footsies. But baiting with a shimmy. That's not a footsie. That's dumb. Is what it is. That's just dumb. That's in every single game ever. That's in Killer Instinct, that's in Street Fighter, that's in every game. That's not unique to Street Fighter 5. It's not. So when you think of the term competitive, part of what makes something competitive is the depth and the uniqueness to each individual piece of the puzzle of the game. So chess, we have pawns, different things, and bishops and rooks. You have to know how they move, how they can trap the king, how they can do certain stuff. The ability to play quickly. You have to learn how to play fast. You really have to learn. What do you learn in Street Fighter 5 that I don't learn in any other fighting game? My combos are easy, but there's no footsies in 5. You just hit buttons and dash in and be like, here I go. Yup. Anybody can really do that. It's not really that difficult to do that and play and be like, well, okay, here we go. I'm just going in. That's garbage. Part of the game, or the competitive aspect of something, is knowing the intricacies, knowing the details. Like in basketball, you have to memorize the plays. Players have to memorize the play, like give and go, 3-2 zone, 2-3 zone, man on man, full court press. You have to know plays. You have to know what you're doing. In hockey, you got to know flying V, Mighty Ducks, right? You have to know different things in order to win against your opponent. If I play Ryu and my opponent plays Ryu, I have to know the mirror. I have to understand what I can do and what I can't do. Okay, that's in Street Fighter 5, but it's no different than any other matchup where I'm just like, oh, I just like kind of do the same thing and I'll be okay. Like, it's not like that different. All you have to do is learn what to block and punish. That's all. So when you think competitive, Street Fighter 5, in my opinion, is not competitive because it lacks substance. It lacks the Street Fighter formula. It really does. It really does. And you can say, oh, I didn't want to spend time in training mode. I didn't want to learn all these things. That's because you don't want to learn. And that's what makes something competitive, is having some depth, having some uniqueness to something. Because if everything's the same and everybody can just throw rock, paper, scissors and just guess on wake up and guess meaties, that's not depth. That's guessing. You're just guessing. But in Street Fighter 4, you guess that overhead from Dudley. Try to guess that. Like, it's hard. It's really hard. Try to guess Akuma's mix-up. If I'm going to air throw you with the Demon Flip, if I'm going to go Demon Flip and go quickly to a crouching low kick or a crouching light punch, Mia punch, Tatsu, and then reset you and do all that. Try to see that and learn that. You have to learn to see that. Same thing with Seth. You have to learn his dive kick jump. It's quick. You have to learn the anti-air that. You have to see that. You have to learn to react to his far high punch. You have to learn that. You have to see that and understand that. Or Geef. You have to learn the tendency to that quick EX friggin', I don't know, green hand. That's fast. You gotta learn that. You gotta see that he has a one frame command grab. You have to know that that's there. You have to respect that and remember that. You have to remember that. Or Yang, that he has frame traps with Rekkas. There's nothing technical about it. You just have to learn it and really see it. What are you really learning in Street Fighter 5 other than, oh, I blocked the move, I punished it? What are you really learning? Oh, Nash is a fast dash. Okay. Or Chun-Li has an overhead. Alright. Great, but there's nothing unique about Chun-Li. There's nothing unique about Nash. There's nothing unique about Ryu that isn't really special. There's nothing special. It's like Cammy. You have to pay attention to when she has EX meter. You have to see and know that she has frame advantage on the EX cannon spike and be like, oh shit, I gotta sit and I gotta eat that. Like, you have to know that that's coming. You have to watch how the Cammy plays. There's more to do. You have to know the able roll mix-ups and learn to see when he has advantage after the roll. Like, there's just different things you have to pay attention to. You don't have to pay attention in 5. You're just like, well, I'll hit the buttons. There's things you learn. There's something special about playing Blanka. Like, you have to have a mindset to play him. You have to play him very, very special. In Street Fighter Third Strike, you can't just pick up friggin' Oro and start winning because he's like pretty decent, or Dudley and just like, well, he's pretty good on the tier list, so I can win with him. No, you pick Ryu in Street Fighter 5, you just jump around with light kick because no one can anti-air it really, and you can start hitting buttons and getting some damage, right? Because all your buttons are stupid. Like, it's not hard. So when you think of the word competitive, like, really think about it. Like, everyone's playing Street Fighter 5. I get it. Everyone's gonna play Street Fighter because we're all fanboys, right? And it's like, it isn't really a good game. And for a game to have this much negativity and this far late to be complete, now they finally got Irian, so now it's finally a complete game. It's like, why are we just bending over for this company? The game isn't competitive. If you want to play casually and you think it's really fun, yo, I totally get that. But to say that it's competitive, to say you're going to train and go to these tournaments and all this stuff, I think you people are blind. Like, you're blind and you're just like doing it because everyone else is doing it. And like, look at Cody. Like, you have to learn how to react to counter hits and see that and be like, I see it, good, go. That's what makes you unique as a Cody player. You have to play like that to be good with Cody. You can't just play footsies and be like, well, I'm good with Cody. No, you have to learn how to deal with being under pressure and not having an answer for everything. For every character that doesn't have a reversal in Street Fighter 5, you all play the same. You're like, oh, I'll look for a way to get my B reversal, or I can go on my offense so I don't have to worry about being on defense. And that's bad game design. And there's no whip punishing in that game either. There's whip punishing in this game. And that's my final point, and then I'm done. Is a lot of people make the point of, well, it was really stupid because, like, it was autopilot offense, right? Alright, fine. But Street Fighter 4 had a neutral. If you fucked up in the neutral, you would eat that autopilot offense. Yes, I will say that. But Street Fighter 5's neutral is worse, and then it's autopilot on wake-up meaties that no one can do anything about unless you do a random reversal and then you eat a crush counter. So I don't get the argument of, oh, dude, it had a vortex. What? Street Fighter 5 is a fucking vortex too. You have to, well, not really, it's not as hard to block, but that's another thing that makes this game better, is you have to learn to block. You couldn't just pick the game and go, well, I just hit down back for all my characters, because no one has an overhead in the game, except Urian, and it's pretty fucking slow. Like, you eat Dudley's overhead, that shit is fast, and you're just like, fuck, damn it. And like, my core point comes to, no one wants to learn anymore. No one wants that. We don't want to learn. No, we don't want to learn. Like, look at it. Like, it's so fast. Oh, but that was super technical. I don't want to learn that. I had trouble learning combos. It's ridiculous. So, that's my point, is when we say competitive, think about 5. All the characters can win. Everybody can win. Everybody can pick Fang. Everybody can pick Dave. We can pick Rashid. Rashid's won tournaments now. We can pick any character. We can pick Guile. We can pick Ken. We can pick Ryu. We can pick Chun-Li. We can pick Urian. Any character. They're all good. Street Fighter 4, there's certain characters you can't pick because they suck. Right? Certain stuff. Think about the NFL. There's some teams in the NFL that fucking suck. Guess what? They're not going to win. You don't hear them be like, oh, we suck. No. There's teams in the NBA that are terrible. They're absolutely terrible. Are we complaining about balance for the National Basketball Association? No. We're not doing that. There's cards in friggin' Magic the Gathering that are ass. Oh, completely unplayable. You don't want to play those cards. Are we complaining about balance for Magic the Gathering? No. No, we're not. There's characters in Street Fighter 2. Cammy and T-Hawk are fucking terrible. Are we complaining and saying, oh, balance them? No, they're terrible, and we deal with it. Why do we need things spoon-fed us? Why does every character have to be good? Oh, I want to play the character I want to play. Well, guess what? When you go for a job interview and you don't get that job, do you go, well, I wanted that job, I should have a chance? No, you just lose. You lose. You don't get it. Sometimes you don't get the character you want to play. And that's Street Fighter.